Okay. In case y'all didn't know, today is the day. This is Black Power Media. This is the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Let me introduce you to your hosts. We got no other than Kalaji Jama Chama. Burn It Down Kim Brown. And Kamal K. Frank.
What's happening?
I like that beat there, Ear Doctor. I like that.
You know, we be finding the best for the Remix Morning Show. We got to come with it. You know what I mean?
Africa's in the house, so get petrified. It was good.
Somebody need their coffee down there, coming in looking like grumpy.
Grumpster.
Leave that man alone.
Grumpy Johnson.
Thank you. 5 seconds on the program.
I don't know why he treat you like that, Kamal. Who would do you such a way?
They coming in talk something.
Yeah.
No. She said it was. I was like, it's all right.
Hold on, Ear Doctor, do that one more time. Show us how you did it again. I'm gonna need both of y'all to never ever do that again. Just as long as this is Black Power Media. What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the world famous Black Power Media, the Remix Morning Show, where you can get your mix on, get your fix on, and move around like. Anyway, I ain't gonna keep it moving like that. But anyway, welcome out. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. How you good people doing today? Grumpy Johnson, you good over there? We see you got your face.
I'm good.
Bye, humbug.
You ain't get the kids out to school yet?
Yeah, I got them. You don't hear no noise in the background. You don't see somebody crawling on my shoulders, do you?
You're right about that.
Okay. Got here almost just in time.
Okay. Almost just in time for the next show.
There you go.
That's right. Kim Brown, how you doing? Burning it down, or you cooled off since we was gone?
We still burning it down. This thing's still around to be burnt down.
Checking.
Yeah, I had to cancel my Friday show because one of my relatives is not doing so good. So we went up to Baltimore to go visit him in the nursing home. It's very sad when it's time, when it's time, you know what I'm saying? My uncle, this is my uncle. I put a video up on my Instagram because he has dementia, but when I was playing like Fats Domino and Ray Charles for him, like he kind of woke up and was like singing the songs along. So yeah, it's a little hard times, a little difficult times in the Brown household these days. So
we sorry to hear about that. We wish him a peaceful journey.
Appreciate
you know what I'm saying? Whichever way that goes, and we all know how that feels. So, we it's definitely in our thoughts and prayers and and all of that.
No doubt. Keep playing that music, man. That music is that medicine for real.
No doubt.
I just had my cousin last year had a stroke, and I went up there and played New Edition for her, and she was just bobbing her head. I was like, word. So yeah,
I'm glad you said that. You said she caught the stroke first. I'm like, God,
I was going to comment on that.
Stroke going viral. I saw your face.
On that too.
I'm like,
monkeypox.
Walk outside and shit, nigga, hit you with a catching a stroke. Mean a motherfucker hit you upside your head. But nah, on the real, hopefully she's
my mom used to say she got the arthritis. She got the rightus.
Definitely.
Like, you got the rightus?
She really from down south. She say the arthritis.
The arthritis.
That's like Fred G said, but I got the arthritis.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Elizabeth coming to join you. Fred was having a heart attack then.
He's
anyway,
sneaking up on you.
Shout out to Fred G. Sanford. Shout out to Red Fox and Detroit Red. El Haj Malik Shabazz. I got a dope picture of both of them together. When they met up.
You just wait a minute. Let me stop you. You just went all the way from arthritis to.
Yeah, because he brought that up.
Picture you got.
Yeah.
Goes the biggest shout out to Lamont, the big dummy.
Yeah, that's you. But anyway.
No. The best characters on Sanford and Son had to be Aunt Esther and Grady.
Oh, Esther and Grady.
Grady.
Grady was hilarious.
Grady's dope.
That's
but Red Fox.
Aunt Esther would drop that. You fish-eyed fool.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They
were
definitely a good show. Yes, the Wanda Page, a beautiful sister, by the way. Of course, they made her look, less attractive for the show. And later on, it's sad because, of course, we know that she had some financial troubles, ended up doing chitlin commercials and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Which, unfortunately, when you don't have that paperwork right, they'll get you every time.
Damn.
But
damn, a
shout out
chitlin
to that. Yeah, I mean that's
It's on a
like
stream of consciousness this morning.
yeah,
Like, whatever comes to mind.
like fuck it. Here we are. It's morning.
Anything
It's
goes.
morning. Hey, but on a serious note,
That was a
today,
serious.
yeah, I mean, I guess there was. You're selling chitlins and shit. I guess
Got
that
you on the
would.
break.
All right.
See you, there, Doctor.
Okay.
Shout out
Yeah.
to Tay. Thank you, Tay, for that membership, for that renewal. We appreciate that, Tay.
Word up, Tay. I got
Okay, Toby.
a homie named Tay, and every time I see Tay name, I'm thinking it's that Tay. But if this Tay is watching the Remix Morning Show, then that's all right, because you know what I'm saying. You come a long way, Tay. You come a long way, Tay. Anyway, today.
You're in a good mood, Kalanji.
Well, I don't have a choice. I mean, because I decided, right? Yeah, I got so much work to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I got so many people trying to throw rocks at me. So what I'm doing right now is turning them rocks into stepping stones. You know what I'm saying? And building blocks. So I'm feeling real good. And this is for the haters out there. I hope y'all feel good too, because I'm about to work y'all asses. Boy, I ain't playing. Let it be known. Yes. I haven't had my coffee yet. I'm on that H2O. You know what I'm saying? I got that in the building. You know what I'm saying? We rocking on that. But I want to start off by saying that 33 years today, on this particular day, we lost a brother by the name of Yusef Hawkins. 16-year-old Yusef Hawkins was attacked in Brooklyn while walking through the Bensonhurst section. He was attacked by over 30 folks with white men with baseball bats when he went to go get a used car, and he ended up getting shot twice in the chest. That happened to be, it was a horrible day because that happened to be one day after the assassination of UEP Newton. So, you know, on this date, we remember Yusef Hawkins. If you go to HBO, my good brother Victorious has a film out called Storm Over Brooklyn. So if you don't know anything about Yusef Hawkins, definitely go check out Storm Over Brooklyn. Victorious is a dope brother. In fact, we had him on Renegade Culture maybe about 2 years or so ago. But you know, definitely check out Storm Over Brooklyn. We remember Yusef Hawkins, and he's still trying to with us today. 33 years ago, 16-year-old Yusef Hawkins. Let's go.
33 years ago. Oh my God.
Yes. Time goes. But you know, we still I'm glad that Victorious brought that film out, because unfortunately, when you organize or you just live day to day, there's so many cases that you forget about. You know what I'm saying? I never forgot about Yusef Hawkins because of the fact that we were out there protesting. You know what I'm saying? That was some of my younger organizing years. You know, so you know, we definitely will always have folks like Yusef Hawkins and Eleanor Bumpers and Michael Griffin and so many others in our hearts and mind, even though there's been literally tens of thousands of brothers and sisters either murdered through the hands of police or white supremacy. I was thinking the other day, when I first came down here in 2004, we worked on a case for a brother who was lynched. His name is Bernard Burden. And many people didn't hear anything about him. We actually did a short documentary, which was produced by Professor Griff and Cynthia McKinney as well. That was the first time I worked with those two good people on any organizing. But I'm thinking back because his mother popped up on my timeline a few days ago, and I'm like, damn, you know, so many people that have been taken out by this racist system. But anyway, how y'all feeling, man?
All right.
Too serious for y'all? Too early?
No.
It was just an odd segue. That's all.
It's all good. We here.
But before you, you know, one other thing is that one of the folks that works on the shows on BPM in the background. So we prepared a poll for our studio audience, for folks who are listening to us, viewing us, and I'm gonna drop it in the chat. And it's just a poll just to get your responses to what you think needs to be improved on BPM, what you like about it, what you like to see about it. So I think throughout the day, we're going to continually drop the poll in the chat. And we're asking for folks to give us responses. It's an easy 5-minute poll at most. So please, if you get a chance, just check that out. We'd love to get your feedback on how we're doing and what we're doing. And then we can use that to further better the channel and everything else. So please take a look at that poll. just put it up there, show it one more time. So if y'all see that and y'all grab that and y'all can respond to that, that'd be awesome. And again, we'll be dropping it periodically throughout the show.
No doubt. No doubt. Yes, and it is still Black August. Do not forget that, because I know that folks, after George's Day on the 21st, folks go back like, Black August is over now. It's not over. You know what I'm saying? We still have 7 more days up in the building, 8 more days.
And if it all works out things coming up. Tomorrow we'll have a former political prisoner and former Black Panther Party member who's several times said he was going to make it, but this time I think he might. Okay. I don't want to make no announcements yet, just in case, of course, he doesn't make it again.
Is that because you visited him recently? Is that it? Or?
No, I didn't get to visit him, but he had to call me. He had to ask me for something. So then, I'm dangling over his head. It's like, what? All that time I spent answering your question, you can't do this. A 15-minute favor, 15 minutes. So if it all works out, his brother comes on tomorrow.
No doubt. Kamal's the attorney from Deep Cover. For those of you who have seen Deep Cover, Sean Penn, that's him. You got to really see the movie to understand what I just said. But
I haven't seen Deep Cover in 25 years.
I know.
Man, listen, man. Every now and then, man, you got to go back and check out what you know what I mean? As you grow,
who else was in Deep Cover? Lawrence Fishburne.
That's when he was still Larry.
Larry Fishburne, that's right.
Before he upgraded.
I get that movie and Ricochet confused. Was Ice-T in Deep Cover or Ice-T was in Ricochet? Ice-T
must have been in Ricochet, but I thought for some reason I thought Pac was in Ricochet, but I could be wrong.
Maybe maybe we both wrong. No, it's possible.
I think Ricochet was so whack that I forgot about it totally. So I ain't try to diss,
But of course, Deep Cover is what was where we saw the debut of Snoop Doggy Dogg. Not in the movie, but on the soundtrack. Obviously, Deep Cover was the first time we ever saw Snoop. So
no doubt. Well, shout out to Omar Epps. I actually interviewed Omar Epps back in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Back in 90 after Juice. Yeah, damn. That was a print joint, by the way. Anyway, I'm kind of old school like that.
Yeah, shout out to Omar Epps. Omar Epps and Lorenz Tate have held up very well over the years. Shout out to them brothers. Absolutely.
I do feel like they're comparable, right? It's like when I think of one, I think of the other. It's like they were in a race for the.
You said Omar Epps and who?
Lorenz Tate.
And Lorenz Tate.
I don't think of both of them as y'all just put any black people together. What's wrong with you?
No, you're right. Well, they was the same era.
I think it's a pay grade difference.
Category. They're in the same era, relatively speaking, and they were both short, leading men who got in all the black movies, and then they had to do bad little crossover white TV shows to continue.
But I think Omar Epps reminds me of what's homeboy in 8 Mile with the fake locks.
Oh, Mekhi Phifer.
Yeah, you might have
Mekhi Phifer. They both got like those sleepy eyes, but his career is not comparable. What is
Omar Epps? No, absolutely not. No.
Omar was a huge, he was the black man. He was the it man for a little while. Loving basketball. Yeah. Come on now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which I did just finish watching again. And I was like, oh, that movie was so cute. It was on Netflix. And it was like,
Loving Basketball.
God, it's a really good movie.
Okay.
And she played him for I was like, oh.
Sanaa Lathan in Loving Basketball. What you mean?
Yeah. That was a good movie, yo.
That was Sanaa.
Sanaa, she's hot.
Listen, man. Yes, Sanaa Lathan, definitely. It's wild because you guys talk about transitions. We know from Yusef Hawkins to Sanaa Lathan. It's only right for us to go to the ear doctor after that. I mean, what else can we do?
Might as well.
Hey, also, let me tell you what movie Sean Penn was a great lawyer in. Carlito's Way.
Carlito's Way.
Yeah. Now that's where your boy was wilding, taking money, and got Carlito and all them caught up. Man, that was a good movie.
Wait, which one was it? Was when he was on the boat with the mobster? Was that Carlito's Way? Or was that
Carlito's Way? That's why I was like, when you said lawyer,
Deep Cover.
Okay.
Now I usually stay out the chat, but my man Luke Kang about to start a fight.
What Luke Kang say?
He said Loving Basketball was trash.
What? Okay. And I think an argument could be made one way or the other, to be honest. Like, I didn't think it was a great movie, but because, it was black love, positive black love.
That's all it was. That's all it was. It wasn't like it was no classic. Like, get out of here. What? I mean, the dopest thing about Loving Basketball was Slick Rick and Dana Dane in the beginning. Anyway, Let's go to the commercial.
That was brown sugar.
Well, wrong. See, look, all the same damn thing.
No, they're not.
Black ass black movies.
Right, man, anyway, let's go to a break. I can't with y'all.
Let's go check out Helenville Harlem.
What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? How y'all doing today? Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. And like the screen said, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. And tell a friend to tell a friend every Tuesday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And also check out I Mix What I Like. Check out The Riot Starter. Check out Burn It Down, Kim Brown. Check out Luke My Nation. Check out everything. This is the station right here that you want to tune into. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get into the weather report as you see the world behind me, because the world is yours. Yes, right. In the words of my man, Curtis Blow. All right, boom. So let's first start off in MIA, aka Miami. They got a high today of 89 degrees, nice and warm. Next, let's take it up to VA, Norfolk, Virginia. Big up to Norfolk. They got a high today of 85. That's where my boy Bubba Chuck from, I believe. Yep. Next, let's take it up to Buffalo, New York. Big up to the whole Griselda team up there. They got a high today of 79 degrees. Next, let's take it to Denver, Colorado, where they stay high. As my man Kamal said last week, they got a high of 86 degrees. And next, let's take it to West Side, Oakland, California, where they got a high of 77. And then big up to Trinidad, Tobago, where they got them good rotis, that Sorrel and Moby. Yes, the drinks. They got a high today of 84. And next, let's take it to, y'all ready for this? In Gourma, Burkina Faso. That's right. They got a high today of 78 degrees. Now that's I must say that's not bad. That's not bad. But I'll tell you what else is not bad. The fact that your boy made it into the newspaper this week. That's right, for the Pan-African Festival. In case y'all didn't tune in, let me tell you, it went down. We had DJ Kemet. We had DJ Empress Love. We had Masiki Scales. We had the Giwa and Mata dancers. We had a bunch of young poets and MCs doing their thing. And no other than in the night off, we had Masiki Scales and the Common Ground Collective. So it was a great weekend. If you haven't already, go check that out. We did do a live at the Pan-African Festival. So that's what it is. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and get back to our hosts on the Remix Morning Show.
What was your man's name? Bubba Chuck?
Bubba Chuck, Allen Iverson.
Bubba Chuck. You thought I got that wrong?
No. I was laughing on the name, not the pronunciation.
Oh yeah. That Burkina Faso though, that almost broke my throat trying to say that.
You did it though, Air Doctor. You did it though.
He stayed in the mirror practicing that one. What was that thing you crossed out? You crossed out on the paper.
They had my government. They had my government name in the newspaper, man. I was like, y'all need to relax on that.
So why you cross it out on here if it was already in the news?
This is a different news right here. This is Black Power Media. So do what we want to do here. We don't do the government names here. So that's what it is, man. It was real dope. I actually had a good time, and once again, that was the second annual. The third annual next year is going to be even bigger. So yeah, that's what it is. Had a great weekend. Hope y'all all did the same. And with that said, I'll catch y'all next break.
Everybody, Ear Doctor, before you leave, I might have missed it. I heard you shout out your man Bubba Chuck.
Bubba Chuck.
I had to go to the bathroom, but I heard you say Bubba Chuck. I wanted to know what does that name mean? You know what I'm saying? Because there's meanings behind names with it.
That is a good question. I do not know. I got friends that's that know him, and they never told me what it was. I never asked actually. So
okay, all right, because it rolled off your tongue like Bubba Chuck. So,
I mean, that's what Allen Iverson known as. He always let them know Bubba Chuck, one of the best football and basketball players that came out of Norfolk. Actually,
no doubt. Because
that's it. Besides Mike Vick, anyway. With that said, I catch y'all next.
Talk about Mike Vick on here. All right, shout out to Bubba Chuck and the Ear Doctor. the dog case, they had those situation, animal rights.
Oh, for sure. But he got that squared out. He got that all sorted out.
Oh, did he?
So yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't want the animal rights activists.
I
Kim
never
against
believed
dog. Kim hate
Nah.
dogs and men. Come on,
Gotta
Kim.
stop it.
Goddamn.
First of
I'm
all,
just joking. You got a dog. I'm messaging.
when it's white people and animals, you understand they're gonna overhype the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, white people are animals, but that's
If
different.
they left the dog outside in the rain too long, oh, abuse. It's abuse of the dog. So I mean, I don't know. Like I'm sure he was fighting the dogs to some extent, but I didn't think I never really thought he was seriously mistreating the dog.
Well, I stand
that was
corrected.
crazy. That was crazy what they did to him.
Yeah,
I feel bad for the dogs too, but that kind of time and that kind of his career was basically over after that.
Kamau, they sent him to Fort Leavenworth. They sent him to big time federal prison. Like
I didn't even know all that. That's horrible. I wasn't even following them. My bad. Sorry about that, Mike Vick. Hope everything's good. Shout out to all the dog owners out there. Shout out to Mike Vick. I wasn't following no motherfucking Mike Vick.
That's what fuck I follow. It was all over the news. You didn't have to follow it. It was there following you.
Hey.
You above Mike Vick news?
Hey.
Huge news.
Supposed to get shot by the police while y'all on Mike Vick's Vick. Anyway, it's all good. Don't worry about it.
Tell T.I. we said hi, nigga. What you talking
Speaking
about?
of that.
Like you too big for you.
You said what?
Celebrity news.
Hey man, look here, man. I've graduated. Anyway, let's take it to the map slap. Fuck Mike Vick. He ain't putting nothing on the movie.
What we got in the news today, good people?
They're tearing my head off over Mike Vick and shit. Like, yeah, damn.
We segueing, nigga. We segueing.
Hey, fuck Mike Vick. I'm talking the victims of Mike. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, what we got in the news today, man? I think you just asked that question. Y'all got me confused over here. Now I really need a drink. I think that we'll go to something that our folks. First of all, we can just start off, nice and plain, since we were talking about entertainment and sports and whatnot. We can start off with y'all homeboy, Dennis Rodman, going over there to save the day. He said he's going to be headed over to Russia, and he's going to handle the business, so on and so forth. I think he got Russia and North Korea confused. You know what I'm saying? They probably arrest his dumb ass. He go over there. But I want to talk about Dennis Rodman. What's your thoughts on that gentleman's thought? The gentleman's reasoning or his
I don't know his reasoning. Did Dennis actually come out and make a statement saying why he was volunteering?
He says he knows Putin, that they're friends.
Putin, yeah.
Yeah, but where did he say this? Did he say this on Facebook? Did he say this on Twitter? Like where?
I'm not sure where he said it, but it did make news. It did make news. Good morning, Jackie.
I know Putin too.
Jacqueline!
You know Putin too?
Jackie know Putin too. Jackie said she Putin and she know Putin. How you doing, Jackie? You said what?
Dude, Derek from around the way, but I know.
Oh, Derek Putin. Okay, you know Derek Putin. Anyway, what's happening, Jackie? How you doing today?
Jackie,
I'm doing okay. Moving a little slow, but I'm moving. So
I didn't think we were expecting to see you today. I thought you were going to be resting. I saw the email this morning.
Next week.
No, that's next week.
Next week. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm, regular stuff this week, and next week we start.
She's just late today. She's just late.
I'm just late today. I'm just on total CP motherfucking time. I don't care.
Get it.
Okay. What does CP stand for? Communist people time, or what are we talking about?
Yes. There you go.
Checking. Shout out to Putin again. But anyway.
So quick on the Rodman thing. I just think that Russia's playing this badly, propaganda style. I know I've heard commentators come on the air and talk about, which is true, that of course if this was the United States and the same thing happens in the United States to people who have oils or they get caught in certain states and so forth and so on. So it's not necessarily something in that So it's a propaganda value to the United States, but I also think Russia, it's being used as propaganda, I should say, by the United States falsely, because it's the kind of thing that would happen here too if she got caught in the wrong state with that kind of with the same product, right? So I think even with that being true, that Russia still would do themselves a slight favor with the larger Black community in the United States and take away a propaganda opportunity if they would just release old girl and let her come back. I think that would be, for them, that would be the smart. I know they're trying to do some negotiation and exchange, but if you want to try to at least get some points, let's say, out of this whole mess, then releasing her is the better part of valor, as opposed to trying to make her serve it was like a 7 to 9
years.
Yeah, so like crazy.
9 years, yeah.
So I think that Russia is down to release Brittany Griner. Just make sure Victor Boot is on the first plane back to Moscow. I think Russia has been very clear about this. Like, hey, this is an easy thing, y'all. This can be a 1-for-1. We will give up Brittany. You give us Victor Boot. And the United States, and I know Jackie can definitely lean more into this, but I mean, the negotiations are happening, the talks are happening, but Victor Boot is still in jail. So there will be no free Brittany Griner until Victor Boot is also free. Is that basically Russia's position, Jacqueline?
I think that is Russia's position, and I get Kamal's point. And to a certain degree, I agree that it would be like massive goodwill, I guess, a show of goodwill, and maybe it wouldn't even be massive. It would be a show of goodwill on Russia's part, if they said, you know what, okay, fine, this is just turned into, the United States has just turned this into an absolute shit show. Let's just release her, and okay, fine. We've done a good thing. We are the good guys in this, right? But then what happens to, as you said, Kim, Victor Boot? Because now, if Russia does that and releases Griner, they really have no leverage to demand the return of Victor Boot. And I hate to put it in those terms, but I think kind of politically that just is the way that's just how the situation exists. And I never want to be remiss in pointing out that this deal to exchange Boot for Griner was offered by Russia back in May, before this trial even happened. And the United States, Anthony Blinken, Joe Biden, everybody in the Biden administration that had anything to do with this, they completely ignored Russia's offer then. So now that the trial has happened, and now the United States is having to backtrack on their what's the word I'm looking for?
Bullshit.
Arrogance.
I think that's a good word, on their arrogance for refusing Russia's first offer. So now they're trying to make it seem like this offer is their offer that they cooked up, and Russia's, they're not even tripping off that. They're just like, this is just how these petty mofos are. Okay, fine. And they have stated, Sergei Lavrov, I think, has stated that they don't want to conduct these negotiations in public, in the media, like the U.S. is trying to do. Right. So this is why you're not hearing a lot from Russian officials, because they're trying to keep this at a diplomatic level, which is the way it's supposed to be. Because not before, like in the first month of the conflict in Ukraine, the U.S. and Russia did carry out another prisoner swap, done completely diplomatically. Nobody knew about it until this Britain. So, I mean, on the one hand, yeah, I agree that it would be great if Russia was just like, oh my God, just, okay, fine, just go home, Jesus Christ, and just, so we don't have to deal with this anymore. And Russia would come out looking like the bigger party, I think that's true. But at the same time, to Kim's point, if they do that, then they don't get Victor Boot. Ever.
Jackie, can you explain why Victor Boot is of such a high value to the Kremlin? Like, I mean, I remember when Victor Boot was convicted, this had to have been 10 years ago, and Russia was making a very big deal about it then, saying that his trial was unjust. These are some, trumped up charges against Victor Boot. Why is Victor Boot so important to Russia?
Well, because I can't tell you whether he is like that important to the Kremlin specifically. I do know I can tell you that he really does do arms deals, but you know the way he is described in the U.S. is that he deals arms to organizations that the U.S. considers terrorist organizations. Think about that for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
What organizations does the US government always claim are terrorist organizations?
Freedom
Organ-
fighting organizations.
Leftist, socialist, communist, freedom fighting, anti imperialist organizations in countries where the US and its allies are trying to control those people's resources. So, Victor Boot was making sure some of these folks got ammunition, got arms. And this has been, you know, Russia's role in liberation struggles, at least anti-imperialist struggles, kind of for a long time, particularly on the continent of Africa. And I'm not at all saying that, you know, Russia's the good guy on the world stage, and that's not the point. That is, I would like for us to disconnect these conversations from good guy, bad guy, and think about these issues in terms of anti-imperialism and imperialist forces. So that's so Boot, when he was arrested, he was actually arrested as the result of a CIA sting. Bro was set up. He was actually not arrested in the commission of doing anything. He was literally entrapped by the CIA into trying to set up an arms deal to send weapons to, I think it was the FSLN.
I thought it
In
was
the-
FARC in Colombia.
oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's FARC. I have not had all my coffee yet. It's all of the organizations' acronyms are all in, you know. So he was set up by the CIA with this fake FARC arms deal, which even if it was real, I wasn't going to be mad at it. But the fact that he was entrapped in Thailand, the CIA went all the way to Thailand to entrap this man, and to get him arrested. So he was arrested under false pretenses. The Russian government was right. He was entrapped by the CIA. He was arrested under false pretenses. The trial was a sham, and so that was true. So, and I think from the perspective of the Russian government, it isn't so much that Victor Boot is like a high value. I don't think that's it. I think it is the principle that once again U.S. imperialism has acted with impunity to go to a third party client state country, because Taiwan allowed them to do this, and extradite Victor Boot back to the United States for a crime that he was entrapped into commit, or trying to commit. And this was all done in this ongoing imperialist aggression toward Russia. That's what this is all about. And I mean, I definitely feel the Russian government like, nah, it's Victor Boot or nothing. It's Victor Boot. We either give Victor Boot back or that's it. And we're not trying this thing with, you know, this prisoner swap in the media. And I suspect that the Russian government might also be trying to negotiate the alleviation of some sanctions too. That might not be, but I suspect that might be a part of it as well. That's sanctions that were imposed since you know, the US, EU, and NATO goaded Russia into this Ukraine quagmire. So I think that's kind of the political landscape. Unfortunately, I don't see the US not fucking this up.
Right. And I mean, it's like, you know, you said that Thailand allowed the CIA to come in and do their dirt. This is what the CIA does internationally. So we don't want to act like it's, you know, like it's a unique situation. This is what they
Right.
do, and that's how they get down. I was just asked 2 days ago, and I've been asked several times about Brittany Griner, and of course we want Brittany Griner to be free. but a lot of folks have been asking about if she was a political prisoner. And the answer is no, she's not a political prisoner. She's a victim of American politics. You understand what I'm saying? So this is in response to U.S. hegemony. It is in response to all the shit that when you're talking about someone arming terrorists, I mean, shit, they arm the police every day. You know what I'm saying? And they terrorize the Black community. They arm folks across the planet to destroy and conduct coups and all types of shit. So this is business as usual. So it's unfortunate that that Brittany got caught up in the shit show and in the whirlwind. But this is what happens. This is what goes. This is what comes with war. So when we're talking about war, when we talk about revolution and all that type of shit, one of the things that I appreciate about political prisoners is many of them would tell you off the bat, you know, that it's not a question of guilt or innocence. In fact, some will tell you that they did it, but they will tell you that also, look, this is, you know, we were at war and this is in response to that war, you know. So the thing is, we can't, you know, it's a slippery slope. You know, it's a slippery slope. Unfortunately, again, if you're traveling around the world, you're moving around the planet, or if you're moving around the United States, because, you know, Brittany, that shit that happened to Brittany, it didn't happen to happen in Russia, because there's plenty of Brittany's right here in the U.S., you know, that have been locked up for years, and we've never heard of them because they don't have a name like Brittany Griner. And I'm talking women and men. I'm not just talking about men. There's countless. I forget the sister name that was going to, I think she was in Hampton. We're friends on Facebook. There's been so many people, so many times. And I think that she was forced to transport drugs. And she ended up, I think her boyfriend at the time was either murdered or locked up. And she ended up getting some crazy ass time. She ended up getting out. But it's like, you know, we don't always, when it's not celebrity culture, we don't always get that same type of response. And it's unfortunate because this same outcry for Brittany, and it's not a comparison of terror, but Mumia's been 40 years. Rochelle McGee is 59 years that he's been in the joint. We're talking 9 years for Brittany, which we don't want to see her serve, but Rochelle has served that plus 50 more at this particular point. So I want us to take that same energy and let's deal with it across the board, because it's the same criminal establishment that set the stage for Brittany Griner.
So the only thing I want to add is that I think, well, one, I want to make a distinction. Like, yeah, I don't think she's a political prisoner, but she is obviously caught up in political intrigue, not of her own making. So the thing that I have extreme sympathy for her is she's not someone who's a politicized person. She's not someone who's involved in selling weapons. She's not involved in CIA actions to our knowledge and so forth and so on. So she's caught up. And so for me, she is a pawn in someone else's larger world game. And so I don't think she should be used as a pawn for propaganda purposes and for an exchange of somebody. If they want to exchange, and just go capture some US military or CIA or Blackwater exec or somebody like that, hold them and do an exchange of fair and equal value. You have here is a basketball player who was smoking weed or oils or whatever, who brought it over with them. Allegedly. And now was caught up in someone else's political game. So I have complete sympathy for her as a non-political social prisoner, which I think there's a distinction. Yes, two things can be true at the same time. The same bullshit would have happened to her in the United States, and it should not have. And this bullshit that's happening to her in Russia should not also be happening to her in Russia. And so I give no qualms or care about Russia's dealings in terms of what they say is the technical reasons or what they are trying to do in order to suggest that there's a reason they're continuing to hold her for background negotiations. She's not the one, right? To me, if my own opinion in terms of an intelligent response would be to take the smart, I agree with you, Jack, it's not some huge propaganda value they'll get from releasing her, but take the small propaganda value of getting her out of there and getting her home and giving the U.S. a tool for propaganda, and figure out another way if Victor Bout after is important to get out, or if you want to establish some channel of having a way to get him out through a prisoner exchange, get somebody who's a really equal value. Because this, to me, relatively speaking, she's a kid who got caught up in something and should not be used as anyone's pawn, whether U.S. pawn or Russia's pawn, for political exchanges.
Yeah, and that's why I said she was. Yeah, no, I was just saying that's why I said she's a victim of American politics. Regardless, this is what they do. This is two white men poking their chests out. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, we're always used as cannon fodder. We're always used as unfortunately, she's the perfect victim. Why? Because she's someone that's going to get the American public riled up. If it was someone from Blackwater, not too many people would be saying her name. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that she's a WNBA star, you know what I mean? It has a different connotation for the American public. We don't care about. I mean, let's keep it funky. If Joe Smith, the spy, was locked up, we wouldn't really give a damn. If Kamal Siddiqui, the freedom fighter, was locked up, we wouldn't be talking about this. You know what I mean? So it goes beyond just, whether she's, what do y'all call it, high level or, that's irrelevant when it comes to these folks. They say, look, okay, boom, we got the opportunity to snatch someone of value up. Then let's go with this. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I see it.
So what the fuck is Dennis Rodman? What's Dennis Rodman gonna go over here and do? But I mean, I feel like this is again
another
media distraction. Exactly. I mean, come on, Dennis. Like I know Dennis has a lot of popularity overseas, and I guess amongst strong men. Or in certain countries, people, they like Dennis Rodman. He's an NBA star, NBA champ, blah, blah, blah. But what the fuck is Dennis Rodman going to go over here and do? And I don't like the way that I have seen this story framed in the media. Like Dennis Rodman gets permission to go to Russia to negotiate for Brittany Griner. Got permission from Whomst. Whomst gave him the permission. Was it the State Department? And I think the State Department has actually come out and said that, Dennis Rodman is not going to be there under any official U.S. government capacity, and that the negotiations to free Brittany Griner will still continue via official diplomatic channels. So it's like, but who is giving Dennis a visa to go over there? And what is going to happen once Dennis gets there? I'm guessing a lot of nothing. But why is this even a national story?
Because it's propaganda. It's PR and bullshit, to be honest with you.
I mean,
and yeah.
Yeah, I think that it's even a story because, like, when I look at it from the purely political aspect of this whole thing, I mean, Dennis Rodman can't do any worse than the State Department's done. What was Dennis Rodman going to do? Go over there and not get Brittany Griner, not get them to the exchange? Okay, that's not any worse than the State Department has done, and I think it's important to note that like I said, this swap could have happened back in May, but the U.S. decided not to pay any attention to it. And then when they realized that, oh my God, this trial has happened, and now the public is all invested in it for whatever misguided reasons the public are invested in, and now we have to do something about it. Then the U.S. said, okay, well, we'll exchange. We don't just want Griner. We also want this Navy spy. This dude really was in Russia spying,
right?
Whelan. So the United States government, as it always does, ignores attempts at diplomacy at first. And then they change the terms of the deal in order to make it seem like, well, we're trying to do something, but this other party is being unreasonable, and that's just not the case. So I think that's also really important to note that all of a sudden the U.S. was like, well, okay, Brittany Griner for Victor Bout isn't enough. We want Griner and Paul Whelan. And Russia, I can just see them like, y'all motherfuckers. We're trying, but look at you. So, I mean, what's Rodman gonna do? How can he do worse than the State Department? I don't.
He can get his dumb ass hemmed up also. So then they have two American basketball players.
Better check his bags, motherfucker.
Crazy way celebrity culture works. They'll probably release her to him and over here that'll be a big news story. So
Oh yeah,
you never know with the way crazy celebrity culture works, particularly here in the United States.
and it'd be a diss to the U.S. It'd be like, look, we rather deal with this colorful
Misfit.
dingbat. Yeah, this goddamn fucking Principal Skinner or whatever his name is. You know, they'd rather let him go. But anyway, not Principal Skinner. What's the dude's name? But anyway, keep it moving though. What else we got on here besides Dennis Rodman, monkey ass? In Baltimore, what's going on in Baltimore? Heard about this retired crime scene investigator going to getting bagged because she refused to testify. Anybody want to talk about that?
Not a clue. Fill us in, Kalanji.
No, what's going on there?
Okay. Well, according to sources out there, and my shit just froze, so bear with me real quick. So there's allegedly, give me 1 second. We're having some problems over here, technical difficulties. Okay. Anyway, you can keep on talking, play it off like I'm not stuck right here.
Listen, gang, do us a favor, like the video if you have not already given us a thumbs up, because I see this math is already not mathing. I see 213 people in the chat, and I see 64 thumbs up. So guys, come on. I know I'm not proficient at economics, but I know that the numbers the numbers is not coordinating together. So do us a favor, give us a like. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do so and support us via Patreon, patreon.com/Black Power Media. Get yourself some BPM merch. Come out, show the people that BPM mug. Thank you. Look at that. Gorgeous, beautiful, black and white. Let's go.
True.
So do all the things. We're so excited that you all are joining us today. Shout out to the people down. What's up, Sounds to Say Elsewhere? What's up, Shirley? What's up, B More Acuna? Maybe B More Acuna need to turn their camera on, Kalanji, and tell us what's happening with this Baltimore.
We already good. I appreciate you taking the reins, because everybody was sitting there like, I don't know what's going on. I never heard of it.
Oh, we didn't. You introduced the damn story. We're like, well, what the hell is going on?
Anyway, they say that a retired Baltimore. Shut your damn mouth. They say a retired Baltimore crime scene technician wouldn't testify at a murder trial, so the prosecutor had her arrested. This took place a couple of days ago.
Which prosecutor? I'm curious. I know it wasn't Maryland. Was it Maryland?
I don't know if it was Maryland. I thought Maryland was on the way out. The retired Baltimore crime lab technician appeared in court in handcuffs and shackles, just like the man on trial for the double murder she helped investigate. He said that more than 2 years ago, on a dark, frigid, early morning on November 14, 2019, Nancy Morse scoured the sidewalks and alleys for southwestern Baltimore looking for evidence of a shooting of a man and a woman. A 16-year crime lab veteran picked up fragments of used shell and bullet jackets. Ultimately, the ammunition was the basis for a state lawsuit. Walker, a city firearms inspector, testified that 9mm ammunition found in the Henry Street and Goldsmith Alley was fired by a handgun that Baltimore County Police seized from one of their defendants after a 4-hour crime. Without testimony about how Morse filmed, packed, and presented the ammunition, it might not be admissible at trial. But by the time of his trial earlier this month, Morse had been retired for more than 2 years. Now 64, she spent a lot of her time forgetting the horrific things she documented as evidence of her crimes in Murder City. She dodged subpoenas and told the first police officer that came to her door in Northeast Baltimore that she would not comply with a court order to summon her as a witness, and she ignored a few visits. The point is, I'm retired, Morse said in an interview with the Baltimore Sun. For me, going to court and reliving all this is the most stressful thing. Morse, who is now 62, retired in 2020 as a technician, and she recently refused to testify in a double murder trial, and she was arrested and placed in handcuffs, they said. So, I mean, what are you all's thoughts on that? Should she be forced to go to court and testify, or should she just say, look, y'all should have got with me while I was still there?
I want to know why there is no paper trail as to how she collected her evidence, because it says without testimony about how Morse filmed, packed, and presented the ammunition, it might be admissible in trial. Why aren't there process? Now, this is a rhetorical question. I'm not asking this question as if I expect an answer, because these are the pigs, and I know damn well there is no answer that is acceptable. if evidence is gathered that is according to protocol, and that all the boxes are checked and the chain of custody has not been broken and everything has been tagged and cataloged and signed in, and so what do they need her to testify for? So my question is not whether whether they should make her testify or not. My question is, how come the evidence that she collected and the way she collected it, why isn't that enough? That to me speaks to the fact that ain't nobody policing the pigs. Ain't nobody making sure they doing their job. So I don't feel for her. Whether they force her to testify or not, I actually don't think that's the issue in this case at all.
I think there's something else underlying this, because there has been a number of issues with Baltimore. This is the crime lab, Kalanji, the crime lab people, or is it the medical examiner? Who is she?
Well, she was a crime scene technician. She collected the evidence.
Right.
And I agree with Jackie. I mean, shit, you should have everything you need. What if she died? What if, you know what I'm saying? Anything can happen.
No, there's something else going on here, because I mean, for one, these specific offices in Maryland and specifically in Baltimore, the Baltimore City Crime Lab, the State of Maryland's Medical Examiner's Office. I mean, these are agencies that have been under scrutiny for playing fast and loose sometimes with evidence or the way that they characterize certain things. And I'm not trying to confuse the crime lab and the medical examiner, but sometimes they do, they absolutely do work hand in hand. And I'm not really sure what's going on. I wonder how, you said she's been on the job for how many years? 16, 20 years? Anyway, I'm thinking about Detective Sean Suter, the Baltimore City homicide detective, whom allegedly committed suicide, even though his homicide investigation still remains open. His death has not formally been classified as suicide. It's still an open homicide. I don't know. There's just a lot of squirrely things going on. The Maryland medical examiner who testified at Derek Chauvin's trial was also found to have been fucking with the evidence, basically, in other murder cases in the state of Maryland, and also this summarily discredited. So there's, as the girls in Naja would say, there's a lot of higgy haga. There's a lot of higgy haga going on with these agencies in Baltimore. So I don't know. I feel like she did something. Maybe she didn't do the thing that she did or is accused of in this thing, but I feel as though old girl probably did something. She probably need to be sitting in them cuffs for a couple minutes.
Yeah,
I was going to say, speaking of,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Kamel.
No, I was going to do a segue because the ear doctor was popping up, but you would continue.
He is down there. Okay, all right.
I was going to speak to somebody who should be, but never mind. Yeah.
No, we're not locking the ear doctor up.
I know, that's why I would think it would be a bad one.
We got a bot coming in here with numerous names. They keep changing their name and putting up some smear. I'm over here playing.
Just walk back there.
I love that though. See, and now I'm feeling like Kamau. I'm like, ooh, look at the hate. Come on, hate.
I know. I love the hate. Jackie is so famous that people are following her to various platforms. Why can't I get that kind of hate? I get goofy hate.
You don't work for the Russians. That's what it is.
I get goofy hate. I want that kind of hate. I want that real world hate. That coordinated hate. That department hate.
That troll farm hate.
That troll farm hate.
Well, let's give them a quick break from hating, and let's take a quick break, and we're gonna come right back. So let's do it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Yeah. Y'all know what it is. Welcome out once again to the Remix Morning Show. What we gonna do at this time right now? I'm out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I always say, listen, I like to play some dope artists if they send a material in. So last night we had a mother send in her son's song. So she was like, yo, could you see if people like it? So I was like, yo, let's throw it on and see if people like it. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. So y'all let me know how y'all feeling. This brother right here, he goes by the name of what is it? Let me see here. He has a song that's called Know Me By Now, and his name is Car Washer, like car washer, but car washer. So that's what it is. So let's play this song right here. See if y'all feeling it right here on the Remix Morning Show.
Stop complaining, building up frustrations with me. It's entertaining. You out here going crazy, I think. You should know me by now. You should know me by now, I think. You should know me by now. You should know me by now, I think. Stop complaining, setting limitations on me. Be liberated, you're free like a mason with me. You should know me by now. You should know me by now, I think.
All right, so that's what it is. That right there. If you want to follow Kawashir, there you can go to Instagram and follow him and see what he is doing and new songs and things he is dropping. All right, so that's what it is. Like I said, once again, you got some heat, send it in to Black Power Media, and we'll see if we can get it on, see if it's popping or not. That's what it is now. With that said, let's take it back to the Remix Morning hosts. Yeah.
I actually like that one for some reason.
It was cute.
It was like the emo type, newer
That's
singing.
kind of why I didn't. It's very got the kind of weekend kind of vibe, and I don't like the weekend.
You don't like the weekend?
Ear
I
doctor.
do not. It's
Jackie
just-
is challenging you to find some black rock music. Come on, black rock
I
artists, send your
mean,
music
how
up
long have you
here.
been doing this, and you have not even uttered the words "bad brains"?
Mm.
You haven't even said "fishbone," and I can understand how I can understand if you can't get to "bad brains" yet. I get that. I get
Release
that.
Fishbone.
But you haven't even got the fishbone yet, bro. I don't understand.
All right, well, check this out. We're gonna do that this week. We're gonna get the fishbone. And talk about it. How about
Wait,
that?
what's the one that had the hit? Who was the one that had that one hit in the 90s or something? It was one big hit that they had. The Black Rock Band, they had the one hit.
You're
You
talking
know
about Living
Living
Color.
Colour?
I already know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
right away, everybody knows. See, at least let's do them, right?
Yeah, because
It's not a lot out there.
That's
what
right.
fishbone hit you gonna say?
He
I was
don't know.
actually
that-
thinking of Everyday Sunshine. I think.
Ah,
In
okay.
that community, they're huge. B.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
just
they
not
are.
in that community, though.
Yeah, he's in, and it's okay. I don't hold that against him.
But that's how we-
song that you just played. I'm sorry, not enough
But
bass.
not that
very
song.
very whiny, beggy kind of. Oh, I can't do it.
Anyway, for that young artist that's working and trying to get their music out, listen, keep going. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody's not gonna like it, but keep pushing it.
I think he's fine. I just think we have generational standards. There's differences in taste generationally. I think the younger generations are okay. I'm not saying this about this artist. Let me just be clear. I'm just saying I like the kids are not concerned whether or not people can actually sing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not. They don't care if the songs are actually well constructed. Like that's not a priority. Is it a vibe? Is it hot? That's all they care about. Good, insignificant.
They like harmonies and melodies. We like.
I don't think they do. I don't think they do.
Nah, I think they do. They like harmonies and melodies that they don't have to sound the greatest as in hitting tones and vocals and stuff. But
And that's not a harmony nor a melody, my dear. That's what I'm saying. Standards, ear doctor. Standards.
yeah, they like something about it. So I don't know. But that's what it is. That is your break for the day. I'll catch you on the next one.
Peace. So we got a few more seconds for another story then?
I think so.
I think so. Okay. I know we have some guests coming up soon.
Hey.
So one of the stories I think I got the story from one of our guests who are coming up soon. So Emails show Omaha police plant deal with far-right linked gun shop. So according to this story, or this report, I should say, which was released a couple of days ago, the Omaha Police Department in Nebraska plans to trade tens of thousands of dollars worth of expired helmets and bulletproof gear for roughly $3,000 worth of firearm equipment in a deal with a local tactical shop that has hosted international far-right politicians and an anti-Muslim speaker. And it says Hate Watch has obtained emails surrounding the deal, which the City Council tabled on July 18th amid public scrutiny through a public information request. The email shed light on OPD's relationship with far-right business owners who have ties to law enforcement. Nebraska activists tell Hate Watch they fear the swap between OPD and 88 Tactical, a large gun range and store on the outskirts of Omaha, where civilians as well as law enforcement and military personnel train, is evidence of police willingness to work with organizations that have ties to the far right. And so it goes on just to describe who 88 Tactical is, and there's some of their connections to the far right. But I think the larger part of the story, which in some ways I feel like we already surmised this, is the willingness and the connections of law enforcement to work with, if not be directly involved with right-wing forces in helping and supporting them in distribution of military-grade weaponry or armaments and the rest of it. So again, I don't think this is anything new, but it just sheds more light on something that's already been going on for a long time when it comes to not knowing the difference between the police and the Klan and the rest of it, because they're just changing uniforms, let's say, based on daytime and nighttime, which I think.
I love this though, because I think it's going to be making it more difficult, I suppose, for, let's say, federal law enforcement, the FBI, who apparently are receiving high level of threats, against officers and against their families because of this Trump Mar-a-Lago raid. And it's like, who do y'all think is coming? Who do you think exactly is threatening you? It is these people. It is these people. It is not Black activists. It's not Palestinian activists. It's nobody else but the other whites, the whites that y'all cannot control, the whites that are your cousins, the whites that are well armed to the teeth and are the same whites that are threatening law enforcement now. So it's like this incestuous, pool of white supremacy, the armed militias and the police, and then the law enforcement, like the federal law enforcement. I find it to be funny. I mean, funny if it wasn't so sad and disgusting, but funny in the fact that these forces are now turning on themselves and turning on each other. And even though they're all in bed together, cousin Jeb is scared of cousin Jimmy because cousin Jeb is a federal law enforcement officer, but cousin Jimmy's gun club, all his friends at the gun club, is talking real crazy about the FBI right now. So I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that, I mean, it's like, okay, cops and the Klan, that's of course that's not news, but I think the thing that is, the thing that I think is noteworthy is that the local police departments are getting their military grade weapons from sources that are not the 1033 program now. I think that we have maybe made enough noise about the 1033 program and the militarization of the police and the direct link between U.S. militarism and local policing, that the police are like, you know what, maybe we need to get some of our hardware from somewhere that's not, traceable to the 1033. And maybe they're not thinking that deeply about it. I don't want to give them that much credit for being that smart, but I just think it's that's the thing that is, when I read this story, it's like, that's the thing that pointed out that stood out to me, that they're always going to get their military weaponry. I think that's the overarching point, that the police in this country will always find a way to stay armed to the teeth with military grade weaponry to keep the rest of us in check. And I think that's the big part of this story that
But
is like
specifically
more
Black and
important
brown
than the
us,
fact
though.
that they're dealing with a bunch of clans folks, because hell, that's every day.
But they're not trying to keep they cracker cousins in check, though. You know
No,
what
no,
I'm
no.
saying?
When I
Like,
say us, I'm not talking about no, absolutely not. I'm talking about the rest of the people. No, they don't care about their clan cousins. No,
but that's what
absolutely
I'm
not.
saying. So it's like, well, I mean, there's only a certain group of people that ran up in the Capitol on January 6th, right? It's only a certain specific demographic of people that's threatening FBI field offices, right? And again, I'm sorry, I don't mean to smile. It just really warms my heart to see it. So it's like y'all got all these military grade weapons, but y'all won't use them against the people that are actually threatening you.
Because ideologically those people believe the exact same thing that the folks who ran up on the Capitol on January 6th. They believe that what they did on January 6th was the right thing to do. When they talk about sometimes the tree of liberty has to be watered with the blood of patriots, that's what they mean. So
And the
they're
interesting
not
part
they
is that
don't
they are also like, so now we're going from, remember, the feds who would give the local police this military grade weaponry. And now we have the police giving this military grade weaponry to quote unquote private citizens and or groups. So there's a direct line of how this stuff is being infused from the army or from the U.S. military to local police, and now to private right wing, potentially private right wing sources, militias, and organizations who will now have access to it. Not some store bought, it's like probably 40% of what the real thing is, but the type of thing that they use in their actual wars is even more so hitting the streets directly, flowing from the federal government arm to a city government arm or locality arm to the streets. So that's the part to me that's like even more kind of just showing, as like y'all have said, who their allegiances and alliances are going to. They're not selling that to no left wing, whatever. They're selling that stuff directly to the people who they want to have it, right? Who they want to get it to. So,
Hey, sorry about that. I had some technical difficulties behind the scene. We have a special guest joining us today from Richmond, Virginia. So I want you all to stick around if you don't mind. Good audience for our good brother Deron Chavis, who will be back with us in a few seconds. Remix Morning Show.
Sweet.
My main man Manifest. What's happening, brother?
What up, what up, what up? Peace. Good morning.
How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm doing amazing. I'm over here alert, tuning in, tapping in with Brother Kamal and fam, talking about these weapons
No
being
doubt.
sold to the all right. Yeah, man. It's real in the field.
Yes.
I love what y'all got going on the morning show. That's the way you wake up.
yes. Best part of waking up. Yo, it's funny because you popped on the screen. We've been knowing each other damn near 20 years at this point. And I'm used to you with locks. So you popped on just now.
Yeah, man. My mom, my mother passed away last year, man. So I had to let it go, man. New chapter, new transitions in life. You feel me?
No doubt.
But yeah, man, it's all gravy. It's the same philosophy, same strategy, still banging on the system.
We know it.
I mean, yeah,
Always.
we still natural. It's all natural.
always. Speaking of all natural, first and foremost, if you all are not familiar with my man, Brother Manifest is what we call him. Some of you know him as Deron Chavis. I be getting folks talking about I thought Deron Chavis did that. Yeah, same cat. This is alter ego. But this brother right here has been putting in work for literally decades. His one of his joints he's been putting together, Happily Natural Day.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's been going on for 19 years now. This is the 19th year.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir. That is correct. That is correct.
Yeah, and it's an amazing piece. I want for folks who are not familiar with you, I want you to give them a little brief bio, because it's like right now, maybe 3-5 years ago, I could do that, but since then you all over the damn planet. Talk to us about
so listen, I'm from Southside Richmond, you know what I mean? Black boy, raised in the Mid-Atlantic. Happily Natural Day originates in 2003. My first job at the Black History Museum and Cultural Center of Virginia. It's basically a festival dedicated to holistic health, cultural wellness, and social change. This space that we've created was all about loving Blackness, loving ourselves as African people, and knowing that Blackness is not a monolith, but it's very biodiverse and geographic. You know, people Black everywhere on the planet, but it's all these different cultural representations. We wanted to bring all that together and celebrate it. And through that platform for the last 19 years, we basically created one of the most amazing liberation spaces in the Mid-Atlantic region, you know, creating opportunities for businesses as well as activists and all those in between to network, build connections, build bonds, celebrate each other, but also create strategies to address, you know, social issues in their communities, irrespective of where they might find themselves. So it's been an amazing ride, you know, and the festival itself, you know, from my perspective, has been an incubator for strategy, for addressing, you know, some really systemic issues in our community, especially around transformation of the built environment, sustainable agriculture, regenerative agriculture, how we integrate that into our urban spaces and create connections into our rural spaces. So it's really been pivotal for my evolution as a solutionary and community, you know what I mean? And building these relationships regionally, you know, not just in the Mid-Atlantic, but also Deep South. You know, my fam, you all in Atlanta, as well as family in Philadelphia, Harlem. You know, there is a thread woven through, and it's intergenerational, which has been also very pivotal for the work. I don't know if people really understand that the cultural workers have been building intergenerationally, using these platforms, these event platforms, for years. And I was basically mentored into this thing at a very early age. I'm 42, so you know we started the festival. I was like 22 years old, and these OGs basically put me under the wing.
Yeah,
and you know we've been riding with it ever since. You know what I mean?
I gotta say, you know, because you know, folks hear Happily Natural Day and they hear festival, sometimes they get it confused, right? And they think that, okay, well, you know, they just doing a hair show or something. Sort of like the International Lock Conference. Shout out to them as well, Mama Kosowa, who is an ancestor right now. But the beautiful thing about Happily Natural and the Locks Conference is and was that you're not just gonna go there and first and foremost, before we even go there, culture is an integral part of revolution. Yes, without indeed. Culture, you'll be confused and you'll be all over the place, and you'll be fighting someone else's, looking through things through someone else's lenses. Yes, you know what I'm saying? Indeed. Part of your revolution has to deal with the assault on your culture. Right. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not clear about that, then, you know, it's going to take a little bit while longer for this thing. Yes, Emil Carter Brawl. Now, so I want to say that, you know, one thing about Happily Natural, since I would say we've been involved in it for about 18 years. You know, I think maybe a year after you got started.
Y'all got with us like fresh. Third year.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, when you attend this situation, it's not just like you said, the culture workers. You'll find anyone from an Ashanti Austin to a Daruba Ben Wahad. And this is, you know, and I want to give you credit because we connected, and you know, we were already doing our Black August thing, so we started doing Black August weekend here in Atlanta. You know, it was Black August weekend, Black August, and Happily Natural Fest. And it was I don't know, for folks who missed that, you know, these were some serious situations. But like you said, relationships have grown and sprouted throughout the years. I want you, if you could, just name some of the attendees and participants,
Okay.
from throughout the years.
Yeah, so you named two of my favorites. Brother Daruba bin Wahad has come through to the festival. Former political prisoner, Black revolutionary, Black Panther, former political prisoner. Ashanti Alston, Black anarchist, former Black Panther Party member, Black Liberation Army. Um, but we also had people like Dr. Baruti up in Atlanta. I mean, let's go back, man. We had people like Dr. Lala Africa. We've had people like Dead Prez come from. We've had people like, I don't know, man. Well, how we want to take it? Bobby Hemmett, Reverend Phil Valentine.
Yes.
I mean, we've had Neely Fuller. We've had, you know what I'm saying? It's just like the list is very long. I mean, recently, Leah Penniman came through for the last time we did the festival. It was a digital version, and we had Baba Malika Kini from out of Detroit, Leah Penniman from upstate New York with her book Farming While Black. So it's really a congruence of Black revolutionary energy, right? And touching on the different spectrums of what it means to be active in this work. So it's not just like, health and wellness. And it's not just like natural hair. It's not just, fashion. It's also, social inequities and law, social inequities and our built environment, talking about finances. I remember one year we had Mbuyibwe Ishangi from the Ghetto Times talking about, the boule and all this type of stuff. I mean, it's just, we've been doing it for so long. It's wild. I got videos of Chef Aki from the system with the indigenous food work, on our YouTube. We had Baba Dell Jones from years ago. Rest in power to him. You know what I mean? So we've crossed the gambit of different personalities in his work, and it's been important for us to like always stay hosting these minds that have taken a really clear stance on the work that needs to be done in our communities. We're oriented towards Black self-determination. So we're not trying to like, get the most popular Black pundit, to come to the event and attract the people. Like that's not necessarily our go-to. Our game and our focus is like, how do we present the people that have that are putting solutions into the community in real time? How do we put those folks in front of, the hundreds of people that come to the festival, right? Yeah. And introduce them to these ideas so that they can activate the stuff on their own in their own community. I mean, we're not about trying to build followers and, all that type of stuff that's new. We've been doing this stuff since before there was a Facebook, before there was even a MySpace. So what's fascinating to me is like this, kind of pivot towards trying to get people to follow you and all this type of stuff. Like that's not that's not gonna get us free. You feel me?
I want to take it further because I know that again, folks aren't clear. It's not a hair festival. It's not even a health and wellness festival. It is revolutionary in nature. Again, we started off telling you about some freedom fighters, and we've had all different types of people throughout the years. But I want to talk about, because again, we tapped on relationship. We want to talk about expansion and growth. So I want to, out of this came your most important work to date, something that you're doing right now, something that you've been doing for the last several years, dealing with agriculture. Talk to us about that and tell us about, how did that transformation take place? And then we'll get into what's going on this weekend.
So because of the platform of the festival and bringing all of these different personalities and all these different movements together at the event, we were blessed to meet and have built relationship with Black farmers, right? And those farmers became, OGs to me, when we connected, talk regularly, even develop programming together in our region. And out of that development of programming, it evolved. We started doing pop-up farmers markets with Black farmers, basically selling their produce in formerly redline neighborhoods. You know what I mean? A very explicit effort of like, how do we support Black farmers? Like, people say, hey, you support Black farmers, but we were like, no, we're going to create a program where we're bringing the Black farmers produce into community and selling it. And as a result of that time with them, we started learning why it was important to be growing our food, started growing food, started with a community garden, a little 8,000 square foot plot, but then it evolved, you feel me, into starting farms, orchards, and now the work that we're doing is connecting with and actually being on the board for and founding members of a community land trust here in our region, where we're acquiring land and making that land available explicitly for Black and brown food system stakeholders. So, one of the biggest challenges in terms of self-determination is having land, because land is the basis of independence, right? The land is the basis of power. The land is the basis of self-determination. Like, if you on somebody else's land or somebody else's property, then you kind of beholden to them as far as land tenure and what you can do. Stuff always going to be unstable. So trying to create that power base where we actually have control over space, in perpetuity. And I'm not talking like 5 years, I'm talking like forever. Like, we got this is ours. We can build infrastructure, we can build systems. And I think that's one of the most critical pieces that has come out of our work with Happening Natural Day, is just the focus on the development of systems to deliver solutions to our community, and represent and recognizing the intersectional nature of these systems, right? Land being the basis that gives us a foundation for housing, it gives a foundation for food, for production. You know what I mean? If we have control of land, then we can do all these things. And so we're blessed at this moment, man. We just got 5 acres of land in Petersburg, Virginia. We've been raising money for the last couple of months. We also got 80 acres of land in Amelia County, Virginia, which is about 45 minutes away from the city.
I like how you start off with 5 acres and then you like, folks like, 5 acres is nothing. You'd be like, we also got 80 acres, but go ahead, keep on moving.
and we're working on a 9-acre development on the outskirts of the city, where we're developing a neighborhood, which is called, the concept is called an agrihood, where we developing a farm and building affordable housing that will use the farm as an amenity. So cumulatively, we're talking about we're operating in, influence of almost 100 acres in the last, 2 years, explicitly, you know what I mean? Talking about Black self-determination. Like, none of this is like, we're not sugarcoating it, right? It's like, yo, Black people need land, and we need control of land for ag purposes and housing purposes. And, this is the work.
And that's it. And I want to give you some more credit. Brother Manifest, or Duran, as you all know him, Duran Chavis, and the Happily Natural Day family is also assisting us, FTP movement, with the whole liberation housing situation. So they're actually fiscal sponsors for what it is we're doing now. And, we have some exciting news on that we're not going to announce just yet. But yes, liberation housing, this is part of that particular piece as well. I want to, because we got a couple more minutes, we have some other guests, but I want you to talk about some of what's taking place this weekend, if you could. And
thank you very much.
Let people know to bring their asses to Richmond if they're within a 100-mile radius.
Yeah, if you in DMV, you need to be in Richmond, VA this weekend. We got an amazing lineup for the 19th annual Happily Natural Day. We got Ron Finley, which is an amazing persona. This brother, the gangster gardener for all of us in the Black community that's been getting hype around urban agriculture and growing our own food. This guy kind of like came in and lit a match to this stuff about 5, 6, 7 years ago. You know what I mean? And it's been, a real amazing thing to watch. He's out on the West Coast, so this is one of the first times that he's one of the very few times that he's been out on the East Coast. So we got him coming to chop it up with the people. We got my brother Kalanji coming. Definitely big emphasis on what is Black August. You know what I mean? My sister Taj Anwar will be talking about Black maternal health and the disparities that our sisters are facing in the hospitals and the hells of America. We also got Baba Balagoon Oiteri with the African Martial Arts Institute. We're going to be doing an intro on the African martial arts. We have some talks with my brother Michael Carter, a junior of Carter Farms and Africulture. We're going to be talking about Black land matters, like this, like the whole conversation we just had a few minutes ago. Like, why is it important for us to be focused on land and not just on some old buy back the block stuff? I want to put a pin in that. Make sure I say that this is not no buy back the block. This is another level. Like, how do we create community control of land and take land out of the speculative market and make it permanently in community control, right? And how do we make sure that our communities can build on that land and have land tenure? Like that's the energy. So yeah, that's some of the performances wise. My man Timbo King from Royal Fam Wu-Tang affiliates is coming through.
Haven't seen him in 100 years. Okay.
Yeah. Something got to give in his biz. That's the homie. He's coming through, rocking out with us. My man Derek 320. It's just a host of energy. Oh, and then vendors. It's gonna be over 30 vendors from all over the place. You know, just all types of good energy. And then music, man. We just gonna rock out. We're trying to keep the program, you know, nice and condensed, hit y'all with a bunch of information, but also we're gonna have some fun. You know, it's gonna be good vibes, good energy, good food. You know, come through, come network with your people. This is kind of like a if I could say it's a Black family reunion, but for social justice advocates. I'm gonna throw it in there like that. You know what I mean? This is the type of family reunion that we need when we talking about we got to address these issues in our community, right? And you know, I don't know folks that's from the 757, but I live in the Midland. I live in DC, or I live in Northern Virginia, or I live in North Carolina. I don't know the people I don't know folks that's in Baltimore. So like, I'm coming to this space in the middle. You know what I mean?
Different program.
These bridges, yeah.
So hey man, we're gonna have you back on, but definitely this Saturday, all roads point to Richmond, Virginia, and the time and the place real quick, my man.
It is 5th District Mini Farm, 2208 Bainbridge Street, right? Check out thenaturalfestival.com for all the details. It is from 11 to 10. We're going all day long. And then the next day, you can come check us out. We're doing a brunch at Sankofa Community Orchard. So you can just vibe out with us on some relaxed tip and meet some of the folks that rock with us on the festival. So yeah, man. Look forward to seeing y'all, man. Can't wait to see you, brother.
Without a doubt.
Same here. Kick it with y'all here on the morning show.
No question, man. Be safe out there. This is my man, Deron Chavis. Happily Natural Day. Appreciate him coming through. And we have some more guests coming. We ain't even planned today. But we're going to take it back to the ear doctor real quick. Let's go.
Yeah. What's good? Thank y'all for coming out here. Make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe button at the same time. What we're going to do is, in case you didn't know, what we like to do at this time is run back something that you might have missed. So what I'm going to do right here is show y'all something that y'all might have missed in case y'all didn't see it. It's the Black Myths podcast where they talked about Black myths, Black movies, and barbershop. So check this out if you haven't.
But so this is Black Myths, Black movies. So we are watching Black movies and we are picking out myths in Black movies, as well as discussing the deeper like themes that perpetuate myths, even if they're not like factually incorrect. Just the fact that movies depict things that, you know, just help push BS agendas. So we like stereotypes, historical errors, misrepresentations, plot holes, ideological distortions. We still gonna keep it, you know, black radical and all of that, but we just watching movies. There's difference in the main podcast in the sense that we won't be specifying one myth, so it's not like, you know, Black Wall Street was self-sustaining, or, you know, we still haven't done the episode with crack babies or one particular myth that we all hover on. There's going to be different stuff we all pick out from the movie.
So go check that episode out if you haven't seen it already, right here on Black Power Media. Now it's time to get back to our host with the most. Let's get it right here on the Remix Morning Show.
Hey, so we back. So we're going to zoom right into, we got guests coming on. Kim's going to join us, Kalanji, myself, and we got some special guests talking about some political prisoner work coming up right now.
Yes, Curbside Fest, Curb Fest. About to talk about that in a few ticks. Let's go real quick. We got somebody you know coming on.
Peace, y'all. How y'all doing?
What's happening? How y'all feeling?
Good.
Okay. Good to see y'all on. I know that Curb Fest is popping these days. I've been on some planning meeting with the Boston people. You know what I mean? Heard y'all was doing it in Harlem, you know, and it's some other things coming up. So we have Erica Caines, who we know in the chat is Ricky Ryan, the notorious Ricky Ryan, who only comes on here to announce some shit. She ain't coming on here when we talking about coming on as co-host, but she's with us right now, alongside Natasha. Huh?
I say my son, he'll probably run out here, so you'll see why soon.
That's okay. He cool. He can co-host. No doubt. How y'all feeling today? Everything good?
Yeah. I'm excited to talk about Curb Fest. Should we just start?
Yeah. I mean, tell the people, for folks who don't know, because you know everybody ain't from the block we from, and they don't be on the curb. So you know, need you to talk about what Curb Fest is all about.
Yeah, I know last year, Yane and Ty and myself came on to talk about starting Curb Fest and, you know, the motivation behind it. I know you all are familiar with Russell Maroon Schultz, the third son. Hey, there goes Ty. He started these Porch Fests in Philly. So Yane had started this collective of us, which is like I mentioned the OGs. So it's like intergenerational, just to bring, because as we just heard in the last segment, there's been some long-time workers in this movement, and people are sort of like aging out, and we want to continue the momentum. So we're trying to bring in, you know, more people into this sphere to organize these sort of activities, and that's how Curb Fest for political prisoners came about. So I don't know if you want to talk or want me to continue.
No, yeah, you kind of covered everything.
So we started the first one in Philly last September, and that was pretty productive. It was successful. We took over Germantown, right? Yeah, we took over several blocks in a park at Germantown, and we just we had DJs and speakers, and we had musicians and artists. Black Rap was out there. We had it was dope. We had people in the neighborhood just walking past, and we just agitated them. I know my station, we were posted up in front of a restaurant, and we it was COVID, so everybody was eating outside. So we were agitating around political prisoners. I was really shocked to learn how many people were not even familiar with Mumia, but that was a great chance to talk to people in Philly about what was going on. And people have since, got more agitated. So from then it went to Boston. Boston had a great one. I know you all know Tone, Conrad Tone.
Shout out to Tone.
Oh yeah, Tone led the one. Helped, because Tone is part of the mention of OGs. They helped put together that one with a set of organizations. I think that's one thing to mention. None of these things are individual acts. There are a lot of organizations that tap into it. So the Black Lives Matter Boston, I know, was one that held it down in Boston. Ty, I know you went to Boston. I didn't get a chance to. So if you want to talk about Boston a little bit.
Yeah, Boston. The thing about Curb Fest is like we try to let it fit whatever the style of the city is. And Boston had a different take, especially since it was cold. So we kind of went inside, and it was like a beautiful forum of like all the OGs that really got to talk about their experiences and like still with the Curb Fest style. So we had our music, we had our information, and kind of combining, joy with the movement, and again, still trying to bring in the young people into the crowd. That's been a really big push for Curb Fest, especially like for me. I've really been enjoying tapping in with the different organizers of different cities and seeing how everybody organizes differently, but we're still able to kind of hop on the same waves. So that's kind of how we roped in Natasha. Natasha got the opportunity to take lead on organizing in New York, and a few other organizations. I'll let her speak to the amazing work that just happened. Make sure you tap into our Instagram. You can see all the amazing artists and youth that came out to support that movement.
Now, Natasha, I'm going to let you could probably take the lead on my next question, and you can weave in New York. But I noticed on the website when you guys do it, like you specifically say, you're doing this, you're not trying to get permits or permission. You're just taking over the curb, you're taking over the street, you're taking over the hood for the day to talk about political prisoners. So what got y'all on that track of like, people do these festivals, they always would try to go to the parks department or the police department to get these permits and stuff like that. Why did y'all decide it was part of the work to not do that, and to just do it the way y'all were doing it? And then you can also tell us about what's happening in New York.
So I'll just specifically talk about New York, and then I guess I'll let either Ty or Erica talk about not doing the permits. I know that, as Ty said, depending on the city, you have different things that are going on. And so for New York, we ended up getting a block closed off and doing like a block party kind of thing. But we went with doing it with the People's Church, which is the FSMU church that's located on 111th Street. And so for our Curb Fest, we did have the block closed off, but we do stick with the whole idea of not having to go and get extra permission to do this and to do that. And so we were able to get the street closed off pretty easily and not have to go through like a lot of red tape or bureaucracy or anything like that, and really did work on getting everything that we needed from the community, as opposed to have to look for, getting it from any other place that wasn't part of, our community that we wanted us to support. And in terms of New York's Curb Fest, which just happened on the 20th, this was the first one that happened in New York, but there were people from New Jersey, from Philly, from, New York itself out to the event. Tons of political prisoners that have been out of prison either for, a couple years or just a few years that came out to really talk to the young people. As they mentioned, it's really intergenerational. So that was like the main thing about our Curb Fest that really was amazing, was all of the young people that were there and the elders and all the interaction with between them and, everybody else in between, and the community support with all the different organizations. We must have had at least like 10 organizations that either supported or worked to organize it. And then even afterward, more organizations saying how they want to come together next year and be a part of it from the beginning. So I love the fact that it's bringing together all of these different organizations to do the work together, where a lot of the times we operate in silos.
Word. Yeah, touch on that on the permits, because I like to know that too, Ricky, because I never believed in getting permits, but go ahead.
Yeah, I want to emphasize, like, we stress that this is, I don't want to say it's Russ's brainchild, but a lot of what we done has been related to Porch Fest. And a lot of that is behind getting community involved. Like anybody can do it. That's the whole concept of the Curve Fest. If you want to do something like this, you can. You know, we provided all the information. So the emphasis on no permits is that we turn to each other and not the state. We don't have to ask for permission. We don't need to get permits because we know the local businesses. You know, we are in conversation with the local restaurant. We are in conversation with the local beauty supply store. So they know we're going to be setting up shop there. You know, so it's not a problem for them. We're not going to be having people call the cops or any of those things because we are cultivating a community. So it's not just specifically agitated community, but also building and cultivating and base building. So it's around community building, base building, political education, and there's a real emphasis on relying on each other. So I think that's where the no permit and the emphasis on, you know, no permit is. And I do want to, as you've seen on the website, I do want to emphasize when we say anybody can do it, we did a lot of the groundwork so that the only thing you would need to do is print. You know, we provided the information. We provided how you can contact, write letters, the websites, because everybody's not on National Jericho. We provided, you know, birthdays, how you can politically educate the people that your collective that wants to organize. All that information is there. You know, we provide, I think we've already did one, but I know there's upcoming ones for people who are interested. We do little teach-ins for, you know, so people can be tapped in. So we have a whole folding drive for, like, if you want to do it here, do it. And that's why it's been, I guess, successful in that way in several different cities, because it allows for people to, you know, there's no sort of hierarchy. It's not like this is you know, Black Lives Matter Boston event, or this is, you know, Free Mumia event. This is everybody who's involved. This is your event. So take pride in it. If you want it to be successful because it's a part of you, that framework.
It reminds me, we do a thing called Poets for Political Prisoners, but I love what you all are doing because it's that block fill, and we used to doing the whole block party situation. And to your point, like I was saying earlier, folks call all the time asking me how do they get permits to do a rally or a protest, and I've been doing that shit for 36 years, and I've never in my life, I don't know how to go get a permit. Because my shit is like, look, if you are unhappy with the system or the situation at hand, then you don't need permission to go say, look, I'm mad at you and I want to talk about it. Like, fuck that. We coming to, it's a takeover. That's what it's all about. I don't knock people that do that, but to me, it's like, you'll find out about what we're doing if you run across a flyer or you happen to buck up on us. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate that particular level of resistance, because it's also a way of politicizing the attendees. You know what I'm saying? Because it's an ownership thing. Like you said, the people at hand, this is a people's thing. So now the people are the best security. There's no level of security that you can ever put together that's better than the people themselves. You know, so definitely, you know, salute to you all for that. What's the next Curb Fest? I know I've been, like I mentioned, I've been on some calls with Comrade Tone and the folks out in Boston and whatnot. Ty, you're in Boston, or?
I'm a Philly girl, but I seem to hop around with everybody and just provide support and links and documents. And I've been calling myself the banner girl because I have the Curb Fest banner. So I just kind of travel around with the banner and pull up with it. And, you know,
that's what I've been doing. Coming up, when is the next festival coming up?
So the next one is Sunday, Baltimore, and Boston should be in October. You probably know better than I do.
Right. Yeah, so the next one is this Sunday in Baltimore at Nomu at 702 Howard Street. So we will be on that block. There's a light rail right across the street, so we'll be taking that over as well. We have dope performances from Black Vapor, which is one of the local rock bands in Baltimore. They were just featured in Baltimore Beat. if folks want to check them out. I know we got the comrades from George Jackson University stopping through. Rafiki Morris, Abena Desro is stopping through to read some poetry. We have organizations from Organizing Black, Eugene People's Progress Party, BAT Baltimore, Liberating Library, Green Cloth Collective, and PACA even, the Pan-African Community Action. They'll be also attending and be a part of it. We'll be doing some letter writing, and really, we'll be giving away snow cones as well. We got somebody was down to offer that out. So we'll be doing, it's a really community vibe. We'll be playing some club music. Hopefully we get the DJ play some down the hill stuff, get the people really worked up. But yeah, I'm really excited for it because I really, really enjoyed the Philly one. I was hoping to be able to go to the Harlem one, but I was in North Carolina. So it's a really good communal vibe. It's a really good outreach, but I think it's really good for organizations in your local area to actually find some sort of point of unity to start working around. And that's been what we've been doing thus far here in Baltimore.
What time is that on Sunday?
It's from 1 to 4. So
okay.
It's So from 1 to 4 we'll be out there.
Might have to skate on down to Baltimore. We're gonna be in Richmond, like I said, Saturday. So we might have to come do a takeover. I know y'all crazy out in Tubman City, so I'm gonna have to see what the deal is.
And just with some quick clarity before we wrap up soon, I guess. If I wanted to do a Curb Fest, what do I have to do to link up with you guys and do an official Curb Fest? And it sounds like they can happen at any time during the year. It's not like just the Black August thing.
So you got to partner with us because we're already doing one. So figure that out.
Yeah.
How about that?
I appreciate your help. So if I wanted to get down with it, why don't y'all tell the audience how people can get down to do one?
Yeah, you can go to the website, curbfest.com. We have, I think we have a specific tab that you can fill out if you were interested, so that we can start to plan for the next interest meeting. And so we'll be sending out emails soon for folks who want to be a part or want to join or want to throw their own. So we try to make it as accessible as possible, because the idea is to bring in more people into the movement. It's the same faces. I know I've only been doing this since the National Prison Strike of 2018. That's my first deep involvement. And yeah, it's refreshing to start to see more people come in, and more people starting to be more aware of Black August and political prisoners and wanting to be involved. We just have to make it more concrete. And I think that Curb Fest is one of the avenues to do it.
Amen. Salute to you all for your excellent work on the ground. It's very necessary. It's always good to see more comrades come on board. I'm not going to say younger comrades because I'm still young with y'all. I don't know what they're talking about. But definitely keep on that. Keep on keeping on, man. And, and the beauty of this, I want to add, is seeing younger freedom fighters work with some of these elders. You know what I'm saying? Some of these veteran freedom fighters, because y'all mentioned Boston. Y'all had to work with folks like Kazi Toure. I know y'all got headaches out the gate. You better smoke a big spliff before you get with Kazi. But anyway, though, definitely appreciate your work, and we look forward to.
Can I just?
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead. You want to jump in?
I think, can I add one thing? Yeah, I'm just to Erica's point. I've been working with the Northeast Political Prisons Coalition here in New York. For, I don't know, maybe the last 6 or probably 7 years. And I just want to say that we focus specifically on right now 6 political prisoners, Black Panther Party members that are in prison, and their situation is urgent. So as many places as we can get the word out, as many places as we can get this done, as many organizations and people and communities can come on board to get them out of prison, because we don't want them to die in prison. It's really important. So, you can visit the Jericho website, and you can visit the Northeast Political Prisons Coalition website and Curb Fest and website, and just learn about them and sign petitions and support them, and write letters and let your officials know and let the community know about them.
No doubt. Shout out to Comrade Valerie as well. I know she just celebrated her born day. So definitely salute to her and her work. But definitely, anytime you all want to come on, Ricky know how to reach us. You know what I'm saying? So we can make it happen. She'll hit us up 5 minutes before the show. Look, we need to come on there today. We're all right, cool. So anyway, we appreciate y'all work. Keep on doing what you're doing. Remix Morning Show. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
What's up? What's up?
Ooh, back to guests and all that kind of stuff.
I know. We went from no guests in like 36 weeks to all guests everywhere.
Like 12. This whole week is like more guests coming up.
No doubt, no doubt. Kim, you all right? Kim looking like she forgot what show she on.
I have not had no coffee. I have reached out to Uber Eats to see if they can help rectify the situation. I broke my French press. So
Oh Lord,
I
not your French press.
broke my French
Man, you better
press.
get some Cafe Bustelo and stop fronting. Come out, tell her about Cafe Bustelo.
Ooh.
Tell her stop fronting. Take your ass to the bodega.
Coffee of Revolutionary Champions.
You
That's
know
what
what I
it
mean?
Drink that with hot water. Hot
your
water,
nigga
just stir it up.
Yeah, that's what you need. Yeah. Just the way coffee's supposed to be made. You tell her, hot
Coffee
water,
for
hot
you on the
water.
road.
Yeah,
We should have a
get dimmy
political
tap.
prisoner or a former political prisoner come and do a little commercial like coffee when you want to run.
That's
Cafe
right.
Gusto.
There you go. That's
Put it in
what
your
you need.
backpack.
See that yellow
Keep it moving.
can. No doubt.
When you underground.
That's right. Shout out to my man
You can
Jose.
use it as target practice. You know what I'm saying? It's a good target practice scan.
That too. You know what? Look at Kamal acting like he been shooting something. I understand that.
Shooting a lot
Y'all
of things.
down in Georgia. I know y'all been shooting. If y'all not shooting, y'all silly. I mean,
I'm
if
non-violent, sister.
y'all not at target practice, y'all being silly out here.
Yeah, we don't target practice. Too many damn bullets wasted. But anyway, just joking. But definitely, man, great show today. With you good people. Kim with her hot water. Kim looking sober today. That's all good.
It's unfortunate, you know.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
all good. It's all good. It's Black August, Kim. Just breathe.
I know, but the weed. I mean, come on. I need the weed, dog. Like, don't even play games with me about that. This ain't liquor. You know what I'm saying? This is medicine. This is marijuana.
See, I need the weed.
I need
Anyway.
the weed, son.
What we got coming up
Somebody
this week?
talking the other day about I mean, we got a few seconds left to all the weed that's now they turn it into drink, right? As a and in some places it's free. I mean, not free. Some places it's legal, and some places it's not.
Mhm.
But the way folks are talking about it, I think it's like almost like an alternative to drinking alcohol, but it still gets your buzz on and all that kind of good stuff or whatever.
Mhm.
So I've not partaked in any of it. It's not like my specialty, but I was wondering if any of y'all have, if y'all consider it to be a better choice than like alcohol or some other shit.
Everything's a better choice to alcohol, sweetheart.
Alcohol
is bad for you. Alcohol's poison. White man's poison.
My grandmother used to make the tea for us when we were small, for stomach ailments and and things of that nature, headaches and all that. So, before I knew that it was quote unquote criminal, that was like Kim just said, all jokes aside, that was the medicine. You know what I'm saying? This was pre-blunts and all that shit. So of course.
Well, you drink, Kalanji, don't you partake in alcohols? I mean, to Kamal's question, what do you prefer? Do you have a preference?
As far as
I can't process alcohol, not well. I certainly cannot process like hard alcohol. That don't work.
If it was a question of weed over drink,
Mhm.
I like it would depend. You know what I'm saying? It would depend on situation, circumstances. I like to be in full control, whatever the situation is. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I used to, I mean, I don't care. I can say the shit now. I don't drive no more. But when I was driving, I drove high all the time. And I would, and that's just what it was. But I was terrified to drive drunk because, drunk. And good luck trying to get the cop to prove that I was high on marijuana if I ever did get pulled over, which by the way, I did not. And I'm not encouraging y'all to do that. I'm just saying, only drive high if you were professional at the shit. If you were amateur, I do not recommend you do that. But
but I'm retiring all the way though. So I don't think I'm going to be burning or drinking anymore. So,
Well, I was gonna say, I think that's true. There's only a few people who I would allow to drive when I was back in my younger days. If they were buzzed, weed and or alcohol, there were some folks I was like, you I trust. You over there, I don't even get your car when you're sober. So
You're sober, right?
yeah, so I like you, my designated high driver. Just back in like New York days, it's like I'm riding with this guy.
And people are so funny too, because like motherfuckers used to complain about my driving, but would steadily be asking me for a ride. Now make it make sense.
It's called desperate.
No, you got
it's called desperate. But
hey, nigga, then ride shotgun and shut your motherfucking ass up while I'm over here pushing behind this wheel. Nobody want to hear all that critique about my driving skills. Shut the fuck up or walk, nigga.
I got an uncle that the only time that I felt comfortable, and this is sad in retrospect, the only time I felt comfortable driving with him was when he was drunk, because if that motherfucker sober, you like shut your ass up and sit back. You want to ride, don't you? Talking like you. So there, but when he drunk, he cool, or he laid back. You know what I'm saying?
Can we have a conversation about the alcoholism of the baby boomers and how that was the very distinct alcoholism there for amongst that particular generation? Because
I don't like drunk drivers now, especially living in Georgia. I see so many cars turned over on the highways, so many folks just reckless. So I got drunk drivers right now is kind of damn near up there with like I mean it's a I don't know. I don't think it's cool. That's my thing. I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah,
in Atlanta, there's a special crop of drivers. I don't know if they drunk, high, or whatever, but there's a special crop of drivers that they think weaving in between traffic is some right.
Yeah,
that it's like is it this much space? Let me try that. Let me just jump like this. It's like you about to get
at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
or more. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing to see, cops chasing motherfuckers on the highway. It's just like, but I think the thing for me, like I said, there was some months where I literally would see a minimum of about 4 cars upside down. You know what I'm saying? And there's one time I'm actually driving on the highway and I saw this Asian guy laid out on the highway, and I see his family crying, running back towards him. It was the most horrific shit, because I'm literally passing this. I mean, so he's gone. I mean, he's on, on the street. So, I don't really know what happened with that, but it's just like, drunk drivers just, I some of these motherfuckers I want to just choke the shit out of them. Like, look, I mean, all of these deaths. I mean, because and then they show on the signs. I don't know if they have it like that in Maryland, but they have these electronic signs that show you how many people died drinking as of what date. They just updated, like as people are found. So yeah. Anyway.
Ew.
Yes.
I mean, that was a horrific visual there, Kalanji. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Glad I could help. Anyway, it's Black August again. Black August Resistance. Continue to support our political prisoners, support our freedom fighters, home and abroad. Make sure you get with an organization that is practical and active, and that has the concern and the care for us as a whole. So definitely, salute to all you all for checking us out and share what is we doing.
And real quick, we want to send love and solidarity to everybody in the Dallas-Fort Worth area who is dealing with those horrific flash floods yesterday. I don't know where Sister Erica is, but Sister Erica, we are thinking about you and your people, everyone down there. Pookie Wood, I think you down there in the DFW area. The earth is clapping back, everybody. So try to be on your P's and Q's as best as you can. Be listening out for those weather alerts, because we're experiencing severe weather, flash floods, extreme drought, wildfires. I mean, just insanity. So as much as we are able to, just try to be on your P's and Q's out here, y'all. The earth is clapping back.
All right. And so before we wrap up real quick, so I'm dropping that survey link in the chat one more time. We'll be dropping it on social media later today. Also, the rest of the week, we're going to drop it to y'all. So this is to get the feedback of the audience, what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like to see on the program. We want to know what you guys think about the work that we're doing and how we can improve. So please take a few seconds out of your day You could do it while you watch tomorrow, or you could do it while we finish up this conversation today. But take a few seconds, fill that out, get it back to us so we know what you're thinking, and then we can work hard to put into practice the things that you think we need to do to make this a better program, to bring you the radical information you need to. So yeah, thank y'all.
Yes, we appreciate y'all.
Don't forget, guys, tonight, Burn It Down with Kim Brown, 7 p.m. We're going to be talking about that white man in Arkansas who got his ass whipped by the cops, and all of a sudden it's viral. all of a sudden, white people care about, police brutality. Should the police been beating him like that? Well, if he'd have been black, he'd have been dead. So we're going to get into that.
Hey, Kim. With all due respect, they fucking dude up, man. I was like, they beat him so bad, I thought they beat the black off of him.
Thank you. I was trying to verify. I'm like, is this a black person?
He can't be white. I don't know what he did. I'm like, that motherfucker right there. I'm like, shit, they beating him like, man. I was like,
well, boy. I got a clip from the press conference from the chief of police, or the sheriff, deputy of Crawford County, Arkansas, and according to him, the alleged victim attacked an officer, pounded his head into the concrete. I said, so if he was a nigga, he'd definitely be dead. Got it.
He'd have been shot before he resisted. It wouldn't have been no pounding his head. That shit.
I think we got that queued up, so we'll talk about that story more tomorrow. So
yes.
I know that. Yeah.
Yes.
But you're going to talk about it tonight on Kim Brown.
Tonight. That's correct. Right. That's correct. And we've got some updates on some labor actions going on. The Amalgamated Transit Union, the Metro Access drivers here in DC, they came to terms. They won some of their demands. And again, big up going out to the Kaiser mental health therapists out there in California. 2,000 therapists walked off the job because of Kaiser's inability or refusal to provide adequate mental health services to their patients. And again, that to me is an amazing story. So we're going to be updating that tonight on Burn It Down with Kim Brown, 7 p.m. Please join us.
Hey, and as we say around here before we wrap up, save the whites. The whales. Anyway, Remix Morning Show. We out of here.
Peace, y'all.